I just want to do a quick little thing here. I saw someone post the other day about my very first concert experience, and I can't remember who it was, but hopefully I find him and then I can submit this to them. But my very first concert that I went to was in September of 1990. Death Angel and Forbidden. I was I was only a couple of weeks shy of 15 at this time. And my cousin, he's like, "Oh, you want to go see Forbidden and Death Angel?" I'm like, "Shit, yeah." Now, a little history behind me, if you guys know me. I've always been into like heavy metal and hard rock. But I've been a Kiss fan since I was like 4 or 5, somewhere around there. Then it graduated to Motley Crue, Quiet Riot, Twisted Sister, Judas Priest. I've always liked the heavier stuff. Well, somewhere around the late 80s, 88, 89, somewhere around there, I found thrash, speed, power, death metal, and it was the faster, the more aggressive, the better. So when the opportunity came to go see this show, I'm like, hell yeah. Now, my cousin lived on the north side of Chicago. This is the north side of Chicago. He lived down there. So a lot of these places, I went to several concerts with him back in the early 90s. It was within walking distance. Well, walking distance when you're 15. When you're 47, it'd probably be fuck that. We're getting an Uber. But when you're 15, you're full of piss and vinegar and energy. So a 2, 3, 4, 5 mile walk is nothing. I'd have to look to see how far this is from his house. So, but when he said Forbidden and Death Angel, I assumed it was a Forbidden show. Well, when we got the tickets, I'm like, oh, Death Angel, oh, it's a Death Angel show. He's like, yeah, Forbidden's opening. I'm like, oh, well, I was kind of bummed because I was a Death Angel fan at the time. The Ultraviolence, oh my god, awesome album. And when you found out that most of these guys were like teenagers when they did it, holy shit. Frolic Through the Park, solid album, a little in some parts. Act 3 came out, and it was very solid, very well produced, very good sounding album. But there was a couple like acoustic songs on there, and there was like a funky like bass and like a thrash funk. At the time, I was kind of like, eh. But Forbidden, I was a huge Forbidden fan. Chalice of Blood, on this Forbidden Evil, awesome, solid album. And they were on tour for this album, Twisted and Deformed. Forbidden was on tour for them, and Death Angel was on tour for Act 3. So I'm like, oh shit, well, okay. I want you to, also, as I always like to do, check out that price. $14. $14. Not bad. So we got the tickets, we went, and it was, if you notice, it was September 2nd. Now, September in Chicago's a mixed bag. It could be warm, it could be hot, it could be, you just don't know what you're going to get, especially nowadays. You can pretty much just rule out nice weather. Well, for me, I don't like hot. You can rule out anything in fall related in September anymore. So, anyway, we went to the show, and a band, I found another band, Realm, actually opened up for both of these bands. Solid band, hard to find their stuff. They only put out 2 albums, I think. So we get to the venue. I don't remember what the weather was outside, but when we got there, it was okay inside, And as more people got in there, it got hotter and hotter and hotter. And I'm a stand at the back type of guy. I'm not in front. I don't mosh. I don't like hurting myself. I don't want to hurt other people. That's just how I am. So we kind of stood towards the back. He wasn't really into that shit either. And Realm was awesome. The place was half full. By the time Forbidden took the stage, it was probably about 90% full and getting hotter in this fucking place. So this is my first concert. So I don't know. I've only seen, video of home videos of shows and words about moshing and stage diving and all this. I was kind of scared because I wasn't even 15 yet. So the music kicks in, and the beginning of this album, it's a very like morose, kind of like acoustic music part, and they played it over the PA system. So I'll give you a little bit here. A little, okay. I'm like, all right, it's loud. People are freaking out a little bit, but like I said, it's over the PA system. And then all of a sudden, the band kicks in. Right here. We're like, oh shit! We got hit by a sound wave. And I'm like, oh my god, my heart starts beating. It's fucking great. And then they really kick into it, and I can see the front of the stage, and I see the pit just form, and people just beating the shit out of each other. I'm like, oh my god! I was kind of like the two dudes in Weird Science. I'm shitting in my pants! This is awesome! Thank God I'm not up there. And they played, it was so fucking loud, and it was so intense and hot. It had to be, by the time they finished, over 100 degrees in that place. It was just a little place. So they play, awesome. Death Angel plays, awesome. We had an awesome time. We're yelling, you know, because our ears, you know, we didn't have ear shit back then. All you hear is like, great show! That was awesome! You know? So we walk back to his place. He lived in a high-rise with his mom and his stepdad. I forget what floor. 11th, 12th floor. We get in there. Really nice place. We get into an elevator. Now, here's these two smelly teenagers. This one they can still smoke in the clubs. So we smell the smoke, sweat, ass, spit, snot, whatever smell you can put on a 14, 15-year-old boy. We had it. We get into an elevator, and no shit, there's like a wedding. I don't even know if it was like a wedding party or something. People, dudes dressed up real nice. Girls, I'm pretty sure a bride and groom in there was in there. I don't know what it was, but they were dressed really nice, and you can smell them like nice. They smelled nice. They smelled of perfume and soap, and and then we get these two dirt bags going into an elevator with them, smelling of smoke, spit, shit, whatever the fuck else was in there, and probably flies buzzing around us and everything. And we get off the elevator, and they keep going, and I can only imagine the story that they had to tell was like, you should have smelled these two gross teenagers that got into the elevator with us. Probably ruined their night, I don't know. But it was a good time, you know, and it was so good you still wake up the next morning, because I just slept over there. You wake up the next morning and you still can't fucking hear. So, good times. I you know, one of my good memories from childhood, I don't know, teenagerhood, whatever you want to call it. So, I just wanted to share that with everyone. That was my first concert, my very first concert. Right there it is again. Death Angel and Forbidden at Medusa's, September 2nd, 1990. Don't even know what day of the week it was, but $14 to get in. You can't get that shit anymore. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Like always, do what you want to do. Don't be a dick about it. Long live horror and metal. Yeah!